Sarvarahitam Trigunahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Sarvarahitam Trigunahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami.
स्वर्गे लोके न भयं किंचनास्ति
स्वर्गे लोके न भयं किंचनास्ति
न तत्र त्वं न जरया बिभेति
न तत्र त्वं न जरया बिभेति
उभे तीर्त्वा अशनाया पिपाशे
उभे तीर्त्वा अशनाया पिपासे
शोकातिगो मोदते स्वर्गलोके
शोकातिगो मोदते स्वर्गलोके
स्वत्वम् अग्निं स्वर्गमध्येषि मृत्यो
सर्वम् अग्निं स्वर्गमध्येषि मृत्यो
प्रब्रूहि त्वं श्रद्धानाय मह्यम्
ब्रूहि त्वं श्रद्धानाय मह्यम्
स्वर्गलोका अमृतत्वं भजन्त
स्वर्गलोका अमृतत्वं भजन्त
एतद्विधीयेन वृणेवरेण
एतद्विधीयेन गुणेवरेण
प्रते ब्रवीमि तदु मे निबोध
ते ब्रवीमि तदु मे निबोध
स्वर्गमग्निं नचिकेत प्रजानन्
स्वर्गमग्निं नचिकेतः प्रजानन्
अनन्तलोकाप्तिमथो प्रतिष्ठाम्
अनन्तलोकाप्तिमथो प्रतिष्ठाम्
विद्धि त्वमेतं निहितं गुहायाम्
विद्धि त्वमेतं निहितं गुहायाम्
लोकादिमग्निं तमुवाच तस्मै
लोकादिमग्निं तमुवाच तस्मै
या इष्टकायावतिर्वा यथा वा
या इष्टकायावतिर्वा यथा वा
स चापि तत्प्रत्यवदत् यथोक्तम् अथास्य मृत्युः पुनरेवाहतुष्टः
अथास्य मृत्युः पुनरेवाहतुष्टः
तमब्रवीयमाणो महात्मा
ब्रवीम्रियमाणो महात्मा
वरं तवेहाद्य दधामि भूयः
वरं तवेहाद्य ददामि भूयः
तवैव नाम्ना भवितायमग्निः
तवैव नाम्ना भवितायमग्निः
शृङ्कां चेमाम् अनेकरूपां गृहाण
शृङ्गां क्षेमाम् अनेकरूपां गृहाण
As we saw, as a prelude to his second moon, Nachiketa vividly describes heaven. This is the heaven that I have heard of, where there is no fear of old age or some disease. There is no agony or pain caused by hunger and thirst. Means no gastro problem. Or most of them have the gastro issues. It is not there. And there is no aging problem. There is no fear of aging, helplessness, physical helplessness. Shokatigo modate swarga. When they make merry, they enjoy, they have all the pleasures at their disposal. And they enjoy heaven. That heaven, to gain that heaven, you know that knowledge, you know that yajna to gain that heaven. How does Nachiketa know that Yamraja knows? Because Yamraja is in heaven, by the way. Okay? Yamaloka or hell is hell. Very painful. Our hell is very painful, lot of descriptions. Agonies that you undergo. The means of giving pain are described in that. Just as heaven is described, hell is described. There are some 28 types of hell described in Bhagavatam. And 28 types of heavens. What you get there, different types of, different ways of giving pain. But the king of the hell is in heaven, right? Like the king of Ethiopia, his palace is his palace, His Ethiopia's palace will not be short of food and etc. And you are not simply resident of heaven, you are Devata, one of the ministers. So you must have performed this yajna. That's how you got this position. And therefore, I know that you know. Please teach me. Okay? Now, just see that verse. Sattvam Agni. Tvam sa Agnim Swargyam Addesh. You please teach me that fire. The word Agni in Shastra is used for fire, sometimes used for ritual also. We perform the Agni. It is not simply lighting of the fire. You teach me the fire. The translation is you teach me that fire. In Kavin Mantra you say. It is not saying that you teach me teaching the fire. Fire means that yajna. And sometimes Agni is used for Virat, Ishvara, or Parvesiv Ishvara also. Why and how we'll see in the next section. So he says, you teach me. Why should I teach you? He says, I deserve to be taught. Shraddha Dhanaya Mahyam. I am Shraddha. Shraddha means what? I have, you can say, faith or belief in what Veda says is true. What Veda promises is true. Karma and karma phala that is being promised in Veda means doing this, where this result, the action and its result, the connection between action and its result, and given action and given result, all is to be believed. Because this action will give you this result, how do you know? Unless you put faith into the Shastra sentence. So I have faith. And that means I want to pursue it. It is not that I am asking for the sake of asking. Having said that, and said, this is my second boon I am asking for. Yamaraja taught him the second one. What did he say? Listen now, I tell you in detail. Every detail of this ritual I will explain to you. Ritual necessitates not lots of karmas. And it has to be, earlier also I had told Ushan, when a ritual is performed with a desire, sakama karma, desire prompted action, any action. It is not just a ritual done for pleasing the Lord, but I want this benefit as a phalam. Then it has to be performed exactly as per the stipulation. You cannot take liberty in any which way. No omissions and commissions are allowed in ritual. So he gives him all details. Every ritual is different. Number of bricks that you have to take, how you have to arrange and how you have to perform, what mantra, with what dravya, what material, what time and what vidhi. It's very complicated, very complicated. And so much so it is said, okay, by the way, in India, arithmetic and geometry has been there since Vedic times. They developed geometry. There are geometrical formations, the yagna Vedis, where the ritual is to be performed. The type of the oblations and offering oblation, the type of the mantra, all you have to speak in, every detail he gave. He says, this is what it is. And Yamaraja told him, Rajkot repeated it verbatim. What it was told, everything he repeated. And not simply memory. Yamaraja could see this fellow has understood also properly. And that's what, by the way, the tradition was. The Veda is called Shruti. They are to be learned by hearing, not by reading. For two reasons. Because swaras, you cannot learn by book. Even music swaras. They are drawn in the book. But you cannot pick a book and start singing tomorrow, seeing the book. You have to go to teacher. Teacher has to guide you, whether it is one matra, half matra, two matra, etc. One has to learn properly. So also Vedic mantra Shakti is in the swaras, Veda swaras. Which Udat, Anudat, Samahara, Swarita, Ityadi. And that has to be learned. That was the tradition. Shruti means that which is heard. They will not let you use the book. I myself have undergone that training. I learned all these Purushottam and Rudram and etc. In our time, the books were there. At least I'm not that old. The books were there, but my teacher never let us use the books. Come on, you have to look at him and repeat it twice. And that's how we pick them. So, Meda Shakti is expected in learning Vedas. Rajkot had so much Meda. Just once he heard, and he could repeat the whole blessed thing. Yes. Yama was so pleased. And then Punaha, he gave him extra boon. Actually, it is not one boon, he gives extra two boons. First is that this yajna will be named after him. People will call it now Nachiketa Agni, Nachiketa Yaga. He himself uses, this word. Yamaraja starts using. No more he uses as this Swarga Agni or whatever. He says Nachiketa Agni. Later on, mantra will come. He himself starts. And I am giving you this mala, this Simkam Vittamayim Gruhana. He requests, please accept this thing which I want to offer to you. And Natikata, then Sukha also means two other meaning, Gati also. I can give you some position, or a special visa to some loka where you can enjoy pleasures, the divine, superhuman pleasures in the life, and that promise he gives. Having said, Yamaraja is so happy that he continues. Stuti of Nachiketa. And the stuti of what he has asked for, he continues in next two mantras. These details are not given here about the yajna. It is there in Vedas. This is not a karma kanda section. This section is Upanishad. And I told in the beginning, Upanishad is knowledge, is a vidya, revealing the self-knowledge. In this section of self-knowledge, that ritual is anavashakam. It is not required. So the details are not. Just a sentence, how the deity has to be performed and how the bricks to be arranged and which mantra to be chanted, etc. details were taught. That's all, one sentence. And the Rajkot are repeated. But in the Vedic Karmakanda section, these details are available. And one more thing one should know, any karma phala, anything which is attainable, anything which is to be gained as an effort in terms of time, space and objectivity, always have other options to gain it. Okay? You can like kartum, anyathava kartum. Like here it is mentioned, one example I can give you, which known example for you. Jyotish Homa is there. There is another Homa for Swarga. Then another example I can give you. Like in Gita Bhagavan says, for a Kshatriya, for a warrior, the war for dharma, dharma yuddha, war for righteousness, war for justice is nothing but open gate of heaven. Any warrior who fights for righteousness and dharma and justice, and whether he or she survives or not, he gets a visa for heaven. So there is another karma, different karma to go to heaven. There are different karmas, even Matru Puja, Matru Seva, Pitru Seva also can be means for heaven. It's not necessary that everyone must perform this yajna to go to heaven. Any karma phala is always have alternative means to attain. Anyatha kartum shakyam, like that anyatha praptum shakyam. One can go to heaven by nama japa also. Or one can go to heaven by yajna also. One can go to heaven by yatra also. One can go to heaven by kirtan also. Whatever you do. Only thing is you require some quantum of punya to get that visa for heaven. Specific punya. That punya can be earned through various karmas. Not necessarily only this yajna. But then Nasiketa asked this yajna for Lok Sangraharthe, and Yamaraja told. And then he continues the praise of the yajna and praise of Nachiketa. Look at the next two mantras. We just go through quickly. Trinachiketastriviretya sandhim
Trinachiketastriviretya sandhim
Trikarma kruttarati janma mrityu
Trikarma kruttarati janma mrityu
Brahmajajnam devamidyam viditva
Brahmajajnam devamidyam viditva
Nichaye mam shantimatyantameti
Nichaye mam shantimatyantameti.
Next one also. Trinachiketastrayametat viditva Ye evam vidvan shinute nachiketam Samrityupashan puratah pranodhya Shokatigo modate swargaloke See, Yamaraja says Trinachiketaha, one who has performed this Agni thrice. Trinachiketaha. Trivihi etya sandhim, one who has a connection, one who has a union with these three things. Okay? Trinachiketaha, the one who knows Nachiketa fire, and one who has connections with these three. What is it? Okay, one who has union, who is united with these three. We will see this word. Three karma krit, and who performs three types of duties or threefold karmas. And then three karma krit, tarati janma mrityu. He overcomes the cycle of birth and death. He crosses the ocean of samsara. And further he says, Viditva, having understood this Brahma word, Brahma Jagnam Devam Iditva, having known this the Virat Purush, born out of Brahman and realizing him, he Shantim Atyantam Eti, he obtains everlasting peace. In these karmas, there are two things. To enhance the power of karma, to enhance the karma phala, there are options available where you do some upasana, some meditations. karma coupled with meditation enhances the power. That means it leads you to more karma phala. Okay? It is called Jnana Karma Samuchaya. Together. Like even one simple example, Sandhya Vandanam. Sandhya Vandanam is Jnana Karma Samuchaya. There is a water ritual, they offer oblations to Surya and some mantra, and there is a meditation on what? Gayatri Japa. Meditation means upasana also, so 108 times, 1008 times you do Gayatri Japa. Then again there is some little karma, upasthana karma, etc. So this is called Samuchaya. First option Yamaraja said, this is the yajna performing which one can go to heaven. Now he praises this yajna. He says, one who performs this thrice and along with it does meditation. Meditation on whom? As I said, Virat Purusha, omniscient Lord, all-pervasive Lord. That Virat Purusha, one who performs meditation, Atyantam Shantim Eti, then he gains everlasting peace. In other words, he or she becomes totally free from psychological inflictions. This yajna not only gives you dances and music in heaven, but it can take care of your unconscious also. You don't need to go to Dr. D. You can perform this yajna and your unconscious is taken care of. That's what Shanti means. Maturity in a sense, that way. Now, who can perform this, or who is the person who performs? There is one new word, both the mantras has a couple of new words. Tri karma krita tribhiretya sandhim. Who is united with these three. Sandhi means union. Who is connected to these three. So, this has been our tradition, that the learning tradition, you learn from three persons, three sources. First is mother, second is father, and third is teacher. So, Tribi, them, one who has connection or relationship or who has undergone training or who has learned from these three people, mother, father and teacher, and three karma krit, okay, he performs all the three types of karma. So means duty he or she performs. Vaidika karma, smarta karma and laukika karma. All the duties that are enjoined in Vedas, duties that are enjoined in Smriti Granthas and Shishtachara, as per the time and place, as per the convention, what is expected out of him, as per the rule of the day, all that duty he or she performs. Like even in today's reference, paying income tax is Laukik karma. You may do Sandhya Vandanam, you may do Smriti karma, Matrudeva, Pitrudeva, all that, but don't pay the tax, doesn't work. You have to pay all the three. So, three karma, krita. So, another thing is, when you do certain upasanas and certain specific karma for heaven, that doesn't give you exemption from your day-to-day duties. You cannot say, I am doing this, therefore I will not do this. No. Duty has to be performed, whatever day. And in this mantra, now that means a person has gained maturity, a person is fairly matured because got the wisdom of life from mother, father and a teacher. And is a duty-bound person, following the duty has gained necessary antakarana shuddhi, and because of that shuddhi, that person has maturity. And to quote this, there is some different story or different mention in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad also, There is a dialogue, Janaka Raja and Shalin Rishi. They have a dialogue, and then there is a discussion where Janaka also mentions that I have gained this, I have grown up with the wisdom received from mother, father and teachers. So when they think that these are the first three teachers of life. Three karma also means three duties, three types duty, all right. But three karma also means yajna, dana and tapaha. The life should have yajna in the life, day-to-day life. Then dhanam, attitude of giving, and tapas means a general absence of indulgence or willingness to draw the boundaries and suffer, developing titiksha. These are the three karmas that are again talked about in Gita. While concluding the teachings of Bhagavad Gita on the 18th chapter, Lord says, Yagno dhanam tapaschaiva pavanani manishya. It is the purifier. Natyajyam. You should never give up in life. What is the Hindu life? That there is a yajna in the life, there is a dhanam in the life, it's giving, and tapas, penance, and this general attitude of restraint, general absence of indulgence, unnecessary indulgence, whatever is required that one may have. But absence of indulgence is also one kind of tapas. And then you keep on stretching the boundary, requirement-wise. I mean, shrinking the boundary, my boundary requirement, less, that is tapas. Then, by the way, this is the only culture, there is a value for tapas. Our whole life is tapas. One has to perform tapas. It helps you to develop titiksha. It helps you to accept the unpleasant situations of life. It prepares one prepares one to maintain the equanimity of the mind in different situations of the life. So tapas, three karma, krut, one does. And as I said, upasana of Virat Purusha, all-pervasive Lord, Devam, he gains Shantim Atyantam Iti. When he gains this Shanti, means everlasting peace. Again, he praises the same thing in the next mantra. Bhagavan says, Yamaraja says, Trinaachiketas trayametat viditva evam vidvam shinute nachiketam samrutyupashan puratah pranodya shokatigo modate swargoke. Trinaachiketas trayametat viditva. The person who performs this yajna with the knowledge, one who knows Nachiketa fire, three types means what type of bricks and how many bricks and how to invoke the fire and all that he or she knows. Means he knows the Vedic injunctions with reference to yajna, stipulations, and performs it accordingly the intentions, and he propitiates this Nachiketa Agni, then Mrityupashan pranodya. He throws off the chains of the death, means becomes free from death, otherwise becomes free from cycle of birth and death, and goes beyond sorrow. Shokadigo modate swargaloke. Then he rejoices into heaven. This is a relative statement. It is said that once you go to heaven, you go beyond death. You go beyond sorrow. And that is relatively, in a sense, the time frame in heaven is different, time scale. It's so long, it is almost infinite. Therefore it is said he becomes free. And the joys are so absorbing, sensual pleasures are so absorbing that it says the person always rejoices in heaven. Okay? Now, having praised this ritual, the Nachiketa Agni, he concludes, Raja, imagine, he must have been so happy by Nachiketa. So, you can please the teacher by seva and please the teacher by one's adhikaritva, one's preparedness to learn, his attitudes. Teachers become happy and commitment to learn and necessary surrender for learning. He became so happy. So gave all this one kept praising. And finally he says, Oh Nachiketa. This is the concluding verse. Section is concluded. See the 19th verse. Eshate Agnirnachiketa Swargyah Yama Pranitha Dvitiyena Varena Etamagnim Tavaiva Pravakshanti Janasaha Trudiyam Varam Nachiketo Vrunishva Eshate Agnihi Nachiketaha Swargyah. O Nachiketa, Esha Swargya Agnihi. This fire ritual which leads to heaven. This fire ritual, performing which one gains the punyam, one accrues the punyam that takes one to heaven. In heaven going ritual, Swargya Agnihi, heaven taking ritual, Swarga Prapti Yajna. This ritual, Yama Vranitha Dvitiyena Varena. This fire which leads to heaven, which you chose as a second boon. This is what I told. Okay, this is it. This is the answer. So far what I said is an answer to second boon. I have fulfilled my promise. I told you ask for it and I have fulfilled. I fulfilled your wish without ifs and buts. Since I gave you ask anything, and so you asked this and I gave total details. And plus I gave you this bond. Etam agnim tavaiva pravakshanti janasa. Janasa means people. Pravakshanti will call. Etam agnim, this fire, as tavaiva, as thine alone, means in your name. I made a nomenclature. I gave a new name to this yajna. And I promised that henceforth, as long as there are Vedas, as long as this Agni is there, knowledge of this Agni, people will remember you. Because they will ask, what is Nachiketa Agni? You see, that is how it is. So, Nachiketa, I have done this. Etat agnim tavaiva pravakshanti. They will call this fire as yours. Yours means in your name, they will call it. Now, next Yamraja says, Trutiyam varam nachiketo vranishva. O Nachiketa, now please choose the third boon. Please ask for the third boon. And thereby our deal gets squared up. My papams are getting squared up because the omissions that we made by not feeding you get squared up. Please ask the third boon. Bakri dibbe mein. It's a mistake Yamraja made. He just told him, and slowly Nachiketa asked his third boon. What is the third boon? Yeyam prete vichikitsa manushe.
Yeyam prete vichikitsa manushe.
Astitye ke nayam astiti chaike.
Astitye ke nayam astiti chaike.
Etat vidyam anushishtastvayaham.
एतद्विद्याम् अशिष्टस्वयाहम्
वराणाम् एष वरस्तृतीयः
वराणाम् एष वरस्तृतीयः
Last part of the mantra. Varanam esha varaha trutiyaha. Of the three boons, esha, Varanam means of the three boons, esha, this is the trutiya, this is the third one. Very clear statement, third one. This is the third boon that I am asking. What is the third boon? He says, Yam prete vichikitsa manushye. Prete manushye yam vichikitsa. The word preta means dead. Prete manushye, for when a man is dead, there is a doubt. This is a doubt with reference to dead person. There is a doubt with reference to dead any living organism. That means question is regarding death. Okay? What is a death? That's a question. Some say the question. Now what is a doubt? When you have a doubt, that means 2-3 options are there. So he says, Astiti eke. Some say there is, he is after death. Nayam astiti chaik. Others say that is not. And anushishtastvayaham, having taught by you, I want to know about the self which is there or not. If it is there, how it is. This is Mrityu Vishaya Prashna. You know, first of all, very question reveals he is a Shraddhalu. He is a faith, Shraddha Shastra Vakya. Why? Because only our Shastras talk of Janmantara. We accept next Janma. That means we accept there is somebody different from this body. That is what his question is. So it looks like the gati agati of jivatma. That is not a question. Okay? See, apparently the question looks like there is someone after death, and some say there is none after death. That is not a question. The word meaning looks like that. Why? Because he knows jivatma continues after death. Why? He asked for the Swarga Vidya, going to heaven.
Yes.
Fact that you go to heaven, that means some goer is there inside the body. This body doesn't go to heaven, that is known to all of us. So there is some jiva, some individual who goes to heaven. So he knows there is one. That is not a question. Is there one or not? Otherwise he wouldn't have asked the question. And he says, Shraddhadanaya Mahyam. I have Shraddha. So that means what Veda has told, Jivatma goes to Swarga Loka or Narka Loka. I understand, I accept that. And therefore, whether there is a Jivatma or not, that question is not there. First. By the way, just to give you some supporting logic, this Punarjanma is not simply to be believed in, it is something to be understood. Though we say we don't, other religions say we don't believe in rebirth. Okay, it is belief, that's the right word they use. Because belief is something which is to be corrected. Belief is something which needs to be verified. Belief is something that can go wrong also. So they say we don't believe, it is true, you don't believe. Belief is the right word because you are wrong and I can correct. But when we say we believe in Punarjanma, that's not a belief. That means we can also go wrong. We have to understand there is a Punarjanma. No doubt, in a way, it is a belief, because nobody can see Punarjanma. You have to trust the words of the Lord, and we trust. But then there is enough supportive logic. What is the logic supporting? Where you can it is substantial logic to understand that this must be there, and it is there. See, two things you see in the world in which you live. People are born in different yonis, mosquito and human being and cows and buffaloes and goats and all kinds, pigs and hen and chicken and all kinds of. And each of them undergo different type of experience. Some of us are born in some country, others in other country, and even in that country there are divisions. Like in India there are states. One can be born in Bengal or Gujarat or Punjab or Tamil Nadu or Kerala, you don't know. And again there is a division of sex, male and female. Again the economic status of the pair and social status, all differences are there. Now who decides this? What is the deciding factor for each one having a different kind of birth? I am using different type of birth. There are only two reasons, two possibilities. Either God decides or I decide. Either God is responsible or I am responsible. If you say God is responsible, then you can doubt the God. He needs to consult Him. Okay? He can be little psychic. Why? See, if He is responsible, he or she, whatever the God may be, if God is responsible, how come there is partiality? All should be, when you say, all our God is a father or mother or father, in Gujarati they say, for parents all the 5 fingers are same. I don't know, every language must be having this proverb. And because it is their children. A mother having 10 children, even if one is mentally challenged, then another one may be so intelligent, claiming for Nobel Prize. To both of them, love of a mother is same. She cannot be partial to one or other. Can never become. So if a God is a father and mother in heaven, how can he be partial? So much of partiality, some are born with a silver spoon. You know, silver spoon means not simply this, golden spoon. Not golden, but studded with diamonds. Fellows born at Zuckerberg and Microsoft chairman, our Bill Gates and our Ambanis and all that, they are golden spoon with the diamonds and jewels. And some do not have Vadilal, have more ice cream spoon also, plastic spoon also, poor guy. Born in these ghettos. Why God is partial? One. Cannot be. If he is partial, then he is psychic. Problem with him. Second thing, some are born with, if I use the word of tennis game, disadvantage. From childhood, some physical deformities, mentally challenged. Childhood, they are born in such a worse condition of life. From day one, they suffer. And the life they suffer. If God is responsible, then he must be a psychic person. Because he enjoys seeing the suffering. Why should he create suffering? And then say, pray to me and I will relieve you from suffering. What is this? Come to me. And then also Padi say, he gives me suffering and tell God loves you. What kind of love? What kind of love? You love me and give me all this agony, all these problems. Cannot be this. It is my own karmas only, my own deeds of the past. You see, if you just look at your life, it is like commerce. You know, this book of account, when the daily cash book, daily books, they write books, or at least annual, on 31st March, they close financial year, 2000, today, December, next month they will close. 2017-18 book closed on 31st March. Book of account, this modern system, our Indian system was different, that red book. Chopra. The accountant knows this. He is Chopra business. And this side debit and Jama Udhar. Now it is double entry bookkeeping. Double entry means left side credits and right side debits. That's why in the marriage the spouse is on the right. You know, it's always debit card. He earns and she spends. That's how it is. Anyway, later they must have taken a cue from there, I guess. So, when they close, and the next day when they open, the first and last entries, never ever these credits and debits get over. Some credits are pending, some debits are pending. And there is a difference. Either credits are more, then or debits are more. And they balance it together. And the right balance carried forward. So much credits carried forward, so much debits carried forward. And what is the first entry on the 1st April? Balance brought forward. That I am born to this parent is credit brought forward and debit brought forward. That I am born at this place, that I am born in this sex, male or female, born in this number among the siblings, that I undergo certain experiences, is all credits and debits brought forward. For not doing anything. A child up to 10 years doesn't earn any punya or papa, but he or she gets. That is something brought forward. And in this life, what all I have done, I don't pay for it. And I am not paid for it also. There is something also carried forward. So, that Nachiketa, when he talks of Swargamagni, he knows I will accrue some credit by performing this yajna, and in next janma that brought forward credit will take me to heaven. He knows. So, Deha Vyatirikta, Mrityu Anantaram, different from the body, and after death, someone exists, he knows. Well, otherwise he won't ask. He said, I have Shraddha. And that someone is none other than me. I survive, he knows. So question is not this, is this someone survives after death or not? Some say someone survives, some say some don't survive. That's a doubt. That is not a doubt. Kaschid asti, kaschid nayam asti. Yayam prete vichikitsa manusya asti eke nayam asti anye. Even you don't require to study Vedas. Those people who don't accept Veda as a Pramana, like Bauddhas, Jainas, they don't accept Veda. Still, they accept there is a Jivatma after death. They accept. And there are some people, in spite of studying Vedas, they don't accept. That's a separate. Nachiketa doesn't have the doubt. Charvakas. Or the story that Swamiji told other day, Virochan, the. That's to be. Danavas understood that you don't survive. This is what the standard Vakya. Yavat jivet, sukham jivet. As long as you live, make merry. Runam krutva, ghrutam jivet. Even if you have to incur debt and drink ghee. Why? Ghee is a means of longevity. Ghee is a means for health. There is a Vakya in Ayurveda. Ayurvai Ghritam. Why means indeed, ghee is legitimate. It's so good for the health. You have to add, provided it is a ghee from Deshi cow's milk, not Jassi ghee. Okay? The Deshi cow's ghee, they say you should take 1 spoon and teaspoon. And I have myself experienced some benefit. If you have nose, blocked nose and cold, just put some drop in nose and sleep. Morning it's over. Some skin disease, you just put it, it's over. Some stomach problem, constipation, take it to ghee spoon in hot tea, it's over. So many benefits. Nowadays there is a whole department in university called Go Chikitsa. Chikitsa means all medicines coming out of Gomutra and cow's milk. Anyway, so they say Runam Krutta, even if you have to incur debt, do it and make merry. You know? Why? You have to change this because of the cholesterol problem and Deshi ghee not available. You have to say Yava Jive Sukham Jive. Runam Krutva Pizzam Japte. Eat pizza, drink Coca-Cola. This is the modern one. Pizza. Enjoy yourself, you know. Why? Second line he says, Basmi bhutasya dehasya punaragamanam kuta. When the body is burnt, who has seen him coming back? That means they don't accept jiva other than body. Nachiketa is not there. But the question is, who is that fellow who is different from body? Is Indriya Swarupa, Prana Swarupa, Deha Swarupa, Mana Swarupa, Buddhi Swarupa, and what is its nature? Does that fellow really dies? Does this fellow really does karma? Does really I go through the karma phalas? And is really that person, Jivatma, is really karta, bhokta, really subject to birth and death, really subject to sukha dukkha, or is he asanga? Or is he free from birth and death? Is he free from kartrutva, bhoktrutva? That's the question. That means, what is the nature of Atma? He is asking. What is the nature of self? That self which goes, you know. There are so many opinions. Why so many opinions? Because that is not a subject matter that I can know through my perception. Something regarding water, you can know by your own eyes. Something regarding this system, you can know through your buddhi. But Atma is not knowable through pratyaksha or anumana pramana. I cannot know him, that much Natiketa knows. I cannot know the self through perception, much less I can know the self through inference. Therefore, I am asking you, please tell me, what is the self? What is the nature of the self? Some people believe in the self, some people don't believe. See, it is very important. Whether, see, these Jainas and Buddhas, and even Swaminaras, they say this. Self, they talk of moksha, you know, nirvana, Buddha say this. Jaina also say. Then moksha, but then after moksha also, that mukta purusha is subject to birth. They say, muktatma padharya. These gurus were muktatmas. All their gurus they talk. They say Tirthankars are muktatmas. Still they have to take birth, whether willingly or by others' will, whatever it is. But there are matmana. That means my question is self subject to birth and death when ignorant or so-called knowledgeable, so-called enlightened? When the self is enlightened, after that does it take in birth or not? And even not enlightened, does it subject to birth and death? these schools, these darshanas, Jain, Bauddha, etc., Swaminarayan, they accept, even after so-called enlightenment, even after so-called liberation, these muktatmas take rebirth. They are there hanging around. In these muktatmas are hanging around in different form. And then whenever they feel like, or even by the Bhakti Sampradaya also say, whenever the Bhagavan orders them, Bhagavan says, come on, go there. So the devotees, bhaktas will come back. And sometimes they choose also. Because when they know Bhagavan is taking, these all kathakar, you should listen. It is sometimes very interesting. Lalo Padhairam. But Lala is the eternal Lala. This Lala, Krishna took birth. Bhagavan took birth as Krishna. All the Muktatma Rishis took birth as trees. I don't know why they chose to be tree. Because I don't know. And some of them chose to be gopis. Some of them chose to be gopas. Some of them chose to be cows and cows. And some of them chose to be fish. Why should you choose that? I think they should be taught what to choose properly. And they also have rebirth. If you are, the only Shastra, Upanishad is very clear. Yad gatvana nivartante. Nachiketa is this now. Is self subject to rebirth either because of choice or because of some prayer or because of Bhagavad order. In other words, two questions are taken. After moksha, is there individual existence continuing or not? And if it continues, is that self subject to birth and death, subject to doership? See, to be born as Vriksha Lata, to be born as Gopi, involves bhoktrutva. I want to have that sukham. That bhajan, mukti na mange, mangu janam varam varare, harina, etc., etc. So this rebirth as a devotee is also a desire and expectancy to have that sukham from a source other than myself. That means I am a bhokta. There is subject-object division. There is a vyavadhana, intermittent indriya sense organs are required to enjoy that. Even to see Bhagavan you need eyes. To touch Bhagavan you need hand. So that is one kind of sukham, outside sukham, Vishaya sukham. Vishaya doesn't mean object, but in a way Bhagavan is a karma and you are the karta. So does the self is karta and karma? Is a subject as well as object for others? Does it die? Does it get born? All these questions Nachiketa has. Some say this is true. Some say yes, the self is born. No, it is not born because of karma phala. Karma phala gets over. There are muktas hanging in the space. Like asteroids, the stars, and they are black holes, they are there. And when they see bhaktas suffering, they choose to come down. And then they go back. And they choose either because of karuna, or they decide when Bhagavan is coming, let us come back. They all come. And they come here, what for? They come here to see Bhagavan. Correct? That means by seeing something you become happy. And that means so far you were seeing in him there. You are not happy, you needed more. Right? When you were there in Vishnu Loka, right in front of Vishnu, and talking to him, but then Vishnu went out for some time. It's such a short time, 70 years or 100 years in a time scale of goals. It is said in Shastra, the time scale in heaven is different. 100 human years is one sunrise to sunset. Another 200 years is one moonrise to moonset. So 200 years, hours time equal to 1 day of heaven. And Brahmaji's time scale is different. So millions of years, you know that. And Vishnu Loka must be all different. It is like, this in a monsoon, you see those black flies, mosquitoes, suddenly they are born. And you put on the light for 1 hour, about 4 or 5 generations die. And they must be having this fly, Mr. Fly talking to Miss Fly, attending classes of Guru Fly. Guru must be telling our 300 or 1,000 years is equivalent to these human beings one day. They're in their thinking. Our life is limitless. Human life is limitless to their thinking. Ants must be talking. When you walk, be careful of this fellow. They have extra power. They will kill you. Don't go near men. Ants' mom must be teaching baby ant like our mosquito. The mother mosquito must be teaching. So, Vaikunth Loka timing. Bhagavan coming from there to here and living 125 years, as it is mentioned in Bhagavatam. Krishna's lifespan was 125 years, there mentioned in Bhagavatam. Even that 125 years is just, let us say, 14 hours of heaven. And it may not be even 1 second in that loka. Now imagine how insufficient the rishis were. They cannot remain without God for even for 1 second, like a 3-year-old baby. If mom goes out, what is this? What is this? Doesn't know what is moksha. So all kinds of moksha. Salokya, Samipya, Sarupya and Sayujya. This is all karma phalas. Anyway, we'll discuss that moksha later. So he says, I want to know this. Please teach me. Etat varanam varastrutiya. This is the third boon that you had promised me. I am encashing this. This is my third gift card. You told me I'm giving you a gift card and you can shop anything from the mall. I'm shopping this. Unfortunately, limitless was no limit. Like the casinos of Honolulu, no limit client. So I am that. So this is what I have asked. We'll see that tomorrow morning. Om Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti